Welcome everyone back to AMF Dev Series, another Sunday night race. This is the GT3 Enduro at Bella Isle in Detroit. As you can see by the blimp cam here, it's a bit foggy, or smog, should I say. Another night, joining me in the commentary box is Bruce Ross. How you going, Bruce?
Yeah, good, thanks Steve. Good to be back. We've had a couple of weeks off with commitments other than this, so unfortunately we couldn't make the last couple of rounds, but good to be back doing it again and hopefully looking for a good race.
Yeah, that's it. We have had a couple of weeks off. A few things came up with work and other V8s and stuff, so commentary team took two drop rounds, did we? And now we're back at it. So Bella Isle, the only, I would say, finished street track in iRacing. You do have the Long Beach Tech Track, but not many people would know that one. So how do you think tonight's race is going to go?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a full-on one, being a street race. So I think the guys, once again, same as we always preach this every single round, that time and patience is the key.
Yeah, definitely. I think tonight's going to be a slower down, more calm, calculated driving effort. As, like, you know, it's enduro, it's not the sprint, it's not the 45-minute. You know, everyone's going to go out there and give it everything in the first two laps. You know, I did hear from race control before, telling them to take it easy and stuff. They do have 3 fast repairs tonight, and no doubt, you know, they will use them. You know, 39 cars are on the field tonight. So we'll definitely see how many finish at the end.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of cars, and just as they finish up the warm-up there are a couple of cars playing around. But yeah, a full grid tonight and concrete walls side to side, so it is going to be a very, very interesting race. It's going to take patience and skill to negotiate and keep out of trouble.
Well, that's it. As they get ready and they get in their cars and grid, we'll love to see these first 2 laps. And they're all jumping in now and going for the formation lap.
As we stated before, 49 cars for this race tonight, so it is certainly going to be a full track. Let's hope we can see 49 get to that 80-minute mark.
And they're off from their formation lap, and look up front is Alex Bird in the McLaren.
You got McLaren 1 and 2 tonight, so obviously found a way to make these cars work around the street circuit. So good to see the McLarens up there, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's really rare. A lot of people don't tend to jump in these McLarens, and there is a good view, even though that we've got someone spun around on the formation lap already. But we'll see who that is.
Actually, the McLarens are going to make it easy for the guys behind, having that anti-fog light behind. They can. The guys behind can see the way where they're going.
Just trying to see who actually just spun out and on the formation lap there.
Looks like I think we've got Wayne Taylor that's missing from the grid at the moment now, so I don't know if that's part of it. Oh no, he's back again.
Chris Whittaker was the wrong way around on the first corner there, and that was on the formation lap.
It's very inconvenient.
few of the boys just talking in the race chat there. It was because of the someone glitching around.
Certainly not a good way to start an 80-minute race, that's for sure. You don't want cars jumping around. It's hard enough to get around here without making contact as it is, without being able to see the car. So yeah, it's something that's ideal for the situation.
Oh, definitely, and especially with the fog as well. There's a few comments about that and vision, but well, that's what the weather's going to be like. So you've got to give them some entertainment on YouTube somehow. I would definitely say that's the quickest safety car we've ever had in the AMF Dev series, though.
We have had some quick ones.
Yeah. We can see there's 3 people in the pit. There's Oliver Fullerton, Chris Whittaker, and Nicholas Walsh. So something must have happened there. Obviously, knowing that Chris Whittaker would be in there. You know, he was facing the wrong way on the first corner.
To race control before the start of this race that I guarantee there will be a safety car. Honestly, didn't expect it to be that quick, but yep, that's what happens.
Yeah, I think that one's going to go down in history here with with the quickest safety car in AMF Dev series. Okay, as they come around, we're actually going to go green this lap. Just hearing from race control. Let's see if they can get away to a nice single file start and get into a rhythm and start racing again.
Safety car starts to pull away. Alex has got the start of the race in control now.
He'll probably use this to his advantage and try and get out of there. Stay away from it. The 1-2 McLarens up the front there, trying to check out and get away from all the mishaps that's going to happen probably mid-pack, midfield. All right, and as race control was handed over to Alex and said, yeah, here you go, mate. Have a crack at it. It's green flag.
Back under race.
Look at them McLarens spitting fire there. Oh, and we've got a spinner.
A couple of cars got caught up in that, but I think it was one of the McLarens that lost the rear end coming around the corner.
And Chris Whittaker again's caused them a spin out there down the back of the field. We've got it all going off tonight. That's not even one lap down under green.
It's unfortunate. It's not what, like we said, we want to see, but we knew it was going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. These boys just need to take it a little bit easy. I think they're trying to get some runs on them, and obviously it didn't go too well at the back of the pack there. There was one spin out, probably about 7th spot, but you know, it wasn't too bad. But at the back again, caught up like 4 or 5 cars. So let's see if the boys can just focus on getting one lap down, and then we'll go from there for a race.
Get back up to the front. We can see the McLarens have got a going to second.
This is what we saw last time in the other endurance, though. We did see that there was a few safety cars at the start. I think there was 3, and then basically all the boys kind of got all in their minds to calm down a bit and go for a proper drive and single file stuff and started the proper racing. So hopefully, you know, we don't waste as much time in this race. It was about 15 minutes, so we'll see how that is. As they're saying in the voice chat of the server here, the race controls give us some stern words and saying, come on guys, you know, we're going to go green this lap. Let's see how we go. Just take it easy and focus on your driving. Single file, give it a few spaces, you know. So it's a long race. It's not going to be one in the first 5 minutes of it. So, you know, but you can definitely end your race. And it's pretty sure as Chris Whittaker's been in two accidents so far. So it's safe to say that he's used 2 of his fast repairs there. So he's only got 1 to do an hour, you know, an hour 10 minutes worth of racing. So we'll see how they go.
Yeah, that hurts being early. Use up 2 fast repairs this early in the race, that's for sure. So he just needs to settle it down and just make sure he can drive it straight and get it to the end.
That's it, you know. Usually you get these boys, and most of the guys have been racing the 24-hour last night and tonight or whatever, so they're all GT3 and pushing hard, and you know, even then, you know, you can see people creeping 3 wide, you know. I think they just need to focus on just cruising for a couple of laps there, you know. Definitely a few moves going on here. Trent Thomas moving on. I think it was Dean Ross having a look, and then Dylan Shepherd behind him having a look on Dean, and then go back to 6th spot. You had Matt Kidd pushing it out, and well, they did all right on Steve Lattimore there, but they're doing all right. They're clean so far. So I think race controls gave them a good talking to, and they're pulling their heads in and trying to get single file, nice and clean racing happening.
Well, there's some serious big issues back further in the grid. So we head back up to the front. Alexander has now pulled out a bit of a lead over Trent Thomas, so he's pulled a little bit of a gap, and Dylan Shepherd is fighting very hard with Dean at the moment too.
Yeah, these boys are the ones that'll try and look for that early gap. Oh, Chad Hearn just touching the wall there. He's back in 14th. A few little boys just going a little bit too wide and forgetting how wide these GT3 cars are actually around in this street circuit. pretty sure a lot of them would have put a lot of time in their practicing, but as I said before, you know, the 24 hour probably took a lot of the boys' time, and they're focusing on pushing hard.
I see Dylan Shepherd's in a bit of a rush at the moment. I think Dean's just succumbed and just let him go for now. Oh, a little bit of a touch, and just tagged him on the rear quarter and just put him into the wall a little bit, but he's gathered it back up, so hopefully not too much damage. He can continue on.
Oh,
and a bit of a return serve.
Oh, what's going on there? Hey?
The boys are playing for keeps, that's for sure. I think Dylan was very aggressive in that first opening session there. Dean was, you could see the headlights were flashing, but look, at the end of the day, it's a race. Dean's not going to get out of the road to give a position from third to fourth, so yeah, it's pretty aggressive this early in the race, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely, and as you heard, you know, race control just coming over in server there, just telling him, you know, you'll have to give that spot back. You know, that was a bit of an aggressive move and a bit of a retaliation there. So he slowed down, pulled over, and let the boys go past. So now he's lost a couple of spots in that, just from being a little bit too aggressive. Not to mention when the AMG bonnets look like that, it's not the best to see out of, and especially on the track like Bella Isle, that you definitely need 100% of your vision.
Yeah, when they get pushed up, it gets very, very hard to see the apexes, that's for sure. And, you're 100% right, Steve. This is one of the tracks where you do need to see the apexes, because if you miss it or you take too much curve, it's going to eject you straight over into the concrete wall on the opposite side.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I'm hearing now from race control, that we're under yellow once again. So let's go through the order as it is. Alex Bird still up front there, and the McLaren second, Trent Thomas. McLaren still, Dean Ross in third out of the AMG. And then we've got Dylan Shepherd and the AMG in fourth.
Certainly turned out to be a bit of a handful for race control tonight, that's for sure. But once again, we did expect it. We knew this circuit was always going to cause issues with everyone due to the fact that tightness and concrete walls was always going to be the issue. 40 odd cars on the grid, and it was going to go pear-shaped. Well, I suppose one good thing about this, Steve, is fuel consumption now is going to be on the good side of things. The pit stop's going to be a bit shorter. I don't think anyone's going to need to take tyres in the 80-minute run now, because let's face it, at the end of the day, 15 minutes so far has been pretty much on the safety car.
Well, that's what it was like last endurance round. I think it was Imola off the top of my head that we wasted, you know, that was a good 15 to 17 minutes under safety cars at the start of the race. And it made it basically just a longer bit of a sprint race that we usually do, the 45-minute races.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, mate. And, this is cracking out to be one of those races as well. So, look, I don't know. It's the same sort of deal. I don't know why they sort of struggle so much in the endurance side of things. It's only an extra 35, 40 minutes of a race, but people's brains just seem to start to fade. So.
Yeah, I think it's these boys really just want to get out the front. They know they race the top 10 against each other continuously, and I think they know how everyone plays and can hold. And definitely around Bella Isle, where there's not that many passing spots, you'll have to pick it really well. Wait for a mistake, wait for that opening, and try and fire it down there real quick, just in case they do bounce off the wall and take the arse into your car out. So I think these guys are really going to try and push up front and push forward and try and get that lead on whoever they want at the first top 10 and try and hold it for the race, rather than trying to just cruise and then wait for an option.
And that's exactly the key, Steve, is an 80-minute race. Keep the pressure on the people in front, keep your times consistent, keep it off the wall, keep it clean, and wait for an error from someone. I mean, people are going to outbrake as long as they don't tag the wall and come back out in front of you and stuff like that. But I think you need to force an error from someone before, but there's definitely no need to take risks in making a pass around you, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Just as I was watching Alex Bird there fake it into the pits, that was pretty funny. But you know, the games are on, and it's definitely right. You know, a couple of inches too far left, you're going to touch a wall, and that's it. It's the bouncing back that's going to cause the problem, and that's what I was saying. You know, I've done a few IMSA races around here, not in a GT3, obviously, in the RSR, but you got to take them gaps, and you got to fire it quick, because if they make that mistake and they're going that wide, you know they're going to come back off that wall. So it's just a gamble. You got to take it real quick and make that move stick.
Sort of street circuits aren't a track where you can be aggressive. You don't have the open room that if you do you make an error or misjudge what you're doing in the overtake, that you've got runoff room to compensate for it effectively. So you can't afford the risks. You've just got to drive it, just punch your laps out, lap after lap, just be consistent, wait for the error or wait for the opportunity that's a safe opportunity to make the pass, and drive on by.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's going to be the mistakes thing tonight. I think with the quality of these drivers, you know, I bang on about it every week, but until you come in here and do one of these races, it might not look at it from the broadcast tonight, but these boys can definitely pedal. So, you know, none of them in the field are going to make it easy for you to pass them.
Yeah, I think we're also underestimated. I mean, at the end of the day, this series is a development series, even though we have some pro drivers up front and stuff. All that mid-pack to the tail end are all rookie drivers, effectively, that are used to more open tracks as such. So, look, they're being chucked in the deep end tonight in relation to a street circuit that's just lined with concrete. So you inevitably you're going to have them the incidences from time to time, but it's the same sort of deal. If you don't have the confidence in the car, or if you're just still trying to understand how to get the car around this track, then maybe it is best to just sacrifice 1.5 to 2 seconds and don't overdrive the car. That's going to cost you a damage into the wall.
That's it, especially with the track temps as well. It's a 19-degree track temp, and we've got to get them heat through the tyres. And these guys running around on under yellow is not going to do that for them at all.
Tyre temp will be a bit of an issue, but the good thing about it, the longevity.
Yeah, as we're just talking about that, I'm just going through the field here, have a quick look to see how big of a shuffle it is. You know, we have Matt Kidd from 10th, he's up into 4th. Also, we have Dylan Shepherd drop down from 4th to 19th. And just as under green, he touches up Russ McQueen. Yeah, Dylan Shepherd just touches up, just gave him a little nudge up the back of his Audi there, just telling him to move along, just as soon as the green flag went out. Yeah, the restart's not that bad. We've had a couple just change through, like obviously Dylan Shepherd taking over McQueen there, and there was a move a little bit more up in the 10th spot there. I'll find out who it was, but yeah, they're doing too well. They're doing good so far, and I don't want to commentary curse jinx it, but let's see how they go and get a couple of laps in here. Oh, Chad Hearn has just turned around and put it in the wall, but he is out of the driving line, so if he holds it and lets the cars pass, I don't think it's going to hold anyone too much up.
Yeah, we just caught the tail ender though, and I think it was all on himself. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think he was touched by anyone. He just drifted the rear end a bit and went into the wall.
That's it, and he's doing the right thing. He's just hanging out. He's waiting for everyone to go. Plus, these things are pretty hard to turn around on this track.
Yeah, they are. And with the fixed setup too, you can't turn the traction control off to flick spin it around. So, she's a half a dozen point turn to get him back around again.
Yeah, that's it. He's just tipped that inside curve and it's just unsettled the car and put it around on his own. So, well done to him to hold it out of the driving line. But he did say in driver's chat, tell him that there was a crash there.
I've just noticed. I've just jumped into pit lane as well, and we've got Trent Thomas in the that was second as well in the McLaren sitting in pit lane. So, not quite sure what happened there.
Oh yeah, that doesn't look too pretty at the moment. I'll just try and find out what's going on there. He ended up on his roof by the looks of things. Back under green again. Steve Lattimore's made a few moves. We definitely have a few race on Oz cars in the Dev series here.
Alex has stretched out the lead now to about a 3.8 second gap over Dean in second place. So he's not slowing down. He's pushing on hard.
That's the technical errors from our luck again there, Bruce. My iRacing just decided it didn't want to work anymore and booted me out of the server. So I'm loading it back up, but I'll be in momentarily if you're just wondering why that's the quiet period.
It's wonderful electrical equipment, isn't it?
Oh, we could test it all day long, all week long as well, and nothing would go wrong. But the minute we start broadcasting, it's just... yeah, no, it doesn't want to play well.
Throughout this mid-pack from the 9th to probably 13th, it's very tight. There's, what are we looking at, probably 0.6 of a second between them all, so it's very tight in that mid-pack area.
It's always good to see the the closeness of the mid-pack battles. We have had that over the last couple of races there as well, and there's been some good action in there. I think we've focused more on that 2 races ago. I think it was that we had more of a fight there than up the front.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, once again, I think now everyone's sort of settled down now and realised that it's time to get on with racing and don't do ridiculous, stupid things, and settle into a groove and run some fuel down and let's get on with the race. So it's good to see. Well, hopefully we'll get a bit more action throughout the whole event and yeah, push it on.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm taking this time to go through JRT and stuff and have a look at all the pit stops and who's done what. But yeah, it looks a few cars have done 2 pit stops. So yeah, they must be taking on some damage in fixing it up early, even with the 1 mandatory. But yeah, it's unlucky to see.
Yeah, I was actually running through that list before, and I was looking at how many people has actually been into pit lane, and a lot of them quite early sort of thing. So I'd say quite a few people have suffered some damage throughout the race and gone in and got that fast repair and got the car back out. So.
Oh, well, I'm nearly booted back up, so I'll be in very shortly. There's Tyler Blackburn. He's moved up a few spots. He's in 5th, Race on Oz. So that'll be the 3rd and 5th for Race on Oz at the moment.
So I can't remember where Steve Lattimore started, but yeah, he's jumped the car up to the 3rd position so far. So that's a great first couple of racing laps effectively. Admittedly, there was quite a fair bit of time behind the safety car, but I think he has jumped quite a few positions there, or gained quite a few positions.
Don't quote me on it, but I think he came out of 19th. As I said, don't quote me, but I will find out for 100% certain soon. Just having a look through the grid there, and there's Dylan Shepherd. He's just made 2 moves in just as many corners. He's trying to push back up this field. I know Anthony Bland was in 41st, and it was basically a back marker, and then he went around Jack Hughes just there as well. So he's definitely on the charge there, and he's up the back of Michael Spithill telling him he wants to get through. So he's definitely in push tonight.
Just got a message from race control, Russ McQueen back in 23rd. He's got a PLP for an incident on lap 14.
Unlucky, but they race control, good on them there, but they'll definitely have their hands full of watching the start of this race. There was a fair few, and you know, we can hear the in-server chat there and the voice comms, and there was a few guys given some you know, touch-up work to a few of them and rushing a few people along. Just as he comes in, it's Servy's pit lane penalty.
So just jumped to Michelle Callow just loses the rear end and slides it.
Yeah, no, as I'm seeing, Trent Thomas, again, his car not looking too pretty. He's just rolling it back into the pits there.
Yeah, it looks like he's certainly hit the wall hard somewhere. That thing's crab walking quite severely. He takes a fast repair and pushes it out again.
Well, that's his second pit stop for the race there. There's only one on 3 pit stops. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. There's 2 on 3 pit stops. A couple of guys on 2, but a lot on 1. So obviously there's been a fair bit of damage there, and not only that, some guys may come in early and just get that mandatory pit stop out the way and knuckle down and focus forward and just drive their lines and try and compete.
As we just left Steve Lattimore's car there a second ago too, he had a little bit of damage on that front right guard as well, so he's just obviously clipped the wall there somewhere. Obviously not enough damage to cause any steering damage to it, but no doubt I guarantee that they will require a fast repair on his pit stop when he comes in.
Yeah, definitely. Why not? If you've got 3 and you might as well use it when you come in for your mandatory pit stop anyway, and just fix up your car, make it look beautiful for that finish line.
You can see that gap open it up a bit more now between Alexander Bird and Dean Ross. It's out to 6.1 seconds now, so Alex is still pushing down some decent times. Hope he doesn't get too overconfident and then just push it beyond the limits of what that McLaren can do. But we know what Alex is like handling the cars around these tracks, and that he does all the setups for the series, so he knows how to drive them. So it's good to see him actually out there having a run for a change. He doesn't do it all the time, so.
Yeah, definitely. That is a good point there. He does spend a lot of time doing all these setups for these guys and give them quality setups. And not only that, I've heard a few of the boys saying that they do keep a hold of these setups and use them in other places, and it helps them out. But yeah, good on him being up the front there. He's up there by 6.5 seconds at least, and his lap times are pretty consistent at the 1:26.5s. So yeah, good stuff. I'm not going to say anything bad. I'm trying not to say anything like a commentary curse here, but I hope he just keeps it going well and plugs along for the next 45 minutes.
This is always a nervous time when you're in number 1 position sort of thing, and you're coming up on back of lap cars, and you get very nervous about which way they'll dart and go. So he's done very well, and both back markers have done very well to get out of his way there as well.
Yeah, Chris Vadistic there just held it nice to the left and let him do his thing and just rolled out the throttle a lot early for him. So, no, good on these guys for that. Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot of damage on these cars. A few fenders and stuff happening and getting touched up. But as we said, street track and yeah, a couple of inches here or there is going to give you that.
You can see a bit of a train starting to form behind Matthew Kidd here as well, with Tyler Blackburn and Aaron Hindle as well. So it's going to be a bit of nose to tail sort of stuff here in the next couple of laps if they keep pushing along like this.
Well, that's it. As they're going around now, you see them back markers and then that people have made the mistakes and went into the pits and stuff. So that's going to come into effect as well. So that's going to slow these guys up a little bit more and create a little bit more opportunities for these guys that are behind or too behind to sneak through. Just to see that car parked on the side there.
Did you catch who it was at all? Or?
Just trying to find it now.
with Robert J. Harris, Steve Davis, and who else was it? Michael R. Trooper there. So Steve went a bit wide, and which allowed the other guys to get a bit of a run through the double turn chicane area through there, and now pushed on.
That's it. I did actually have a conversation with Rob just before, and he said he's trying to plug away and get some better times, but he feels that he just doesn't have the pace tonight.
This is certainly one of these tracks where it is so bumpy as well. So a lot of the guys, once again being a fixed setup, might have driven it with other cars, and you can adjust bump rebounds and everything like that to accommodate for the bumps. Everyone's in the same boat with the same setup in these cars. So once again, some people feel confident in it, some people are a little less confident. So it's just about trying to drive to what the car can do and try to avoid all them bumps.
Yeah, that's it. Just as we see Ryan Jones going straight over the curb that time, just thinking, look, I've got to put it there, and Rob's not going to have a bar of it. I know there's a little bit of a train behind him, but you know, Rob's a sensible driver, and you know, you got to make a move stick. He's not going to give it to you easily. So, you know, Ryan Jones just seen the curb the only option in trying to bounce over at that.
Well, it's still a good drive by both of them. I mean, yeah, okay, he did take it up onto the curb. It's probably not a move that was going to pay off, but Rob was aware of that as well, and gave room for him to come back onto the circuit. They didn't make contact, so good driving by both drivers completely.
Yeah, just as they go past Michael Trooper there, he's not in the best spot, but I think he's going to exit out of the car. Right on cue. Oh, Ryan Jones has got the move done on Rob Harris. Well, this is what happened in the last endurance. You know, that first 15-minute mark was a bit crazy, and then everyone, you know, got single file stuff happening, and thought about the moves that we're making, and thought about the long game. So, I think this race is pretty much going to be similar to that one.
Jump into the cockpit of Alex's car here. We'll go for a complete lap around this Bel Air circuit with the guy that does the setups. As we jumped in the car with Alex coming onto that first corner, I think my hole might have buckled up a little bit because there was a car spinning directly in front of him.
Yeah, he definitely he knows how to control that car around here. Still doing you know, pretty similar lap times, consistent lap times. And it's because it's such a short track as well. You get this the mingled field as well. You know, still with 30 odd cars, you know, 35 plus cars on the track. That's only a minute, or say a minute and a half tops. You know, you get a lot of mingled cars.
It's hard for the lap guys to get out of the road as well, because at the end of the day they're still doing their race too, and they don't want to hold anyone up. But there's not, you've got to be careful with the way you do approach to get out of the road. You can't just pull the car up, or you can't just pull it to the right hand side or left hand side, depending on which way the corner is going, and expect everyone to know exactly where you're going to go. So it's a bit of driving between the fast guys that are coming up with the lap cars and the lap cars trying to negotiate and watch their mirrors as well. So.
Yeah, and not only that, you've got a few people like, look at Trent Thomas. You know, he's a really fast guy. He's really up there. You know, he gridded second position. He's in 38th at the moment. So, you know, the speed difference there and the moves that he could probably, and the experience of his drivers getting caught back in the rookie field, you know, he's going to try and push through as well. There's a few big jumps though. You know, 25 to 12th. Sorry, 11th now. Sam Dunstall. Michelle Callow, 30th to 14th. Yeah, there's a few massive jumps. Scotty McQueen, 20th to 8th.
Running through the field and just trying to find clean cars that have not touched or rubbed anything yet. There's not that many out there, to be truthfully honest. So I'd say everyone's struggling a little bit around this circuit and trying to keep the car clean. But yeah, there's quite a few panels that are being either scratched or dented on the majority of the cars in the field at the moment. That gap between Alexander up in first to Dean in second at the moment is just getting bigger and bigger. It's now 12.7 seconds. So Alex has got a dominating lead in the middle of this race. So 35 minutes remaining. Still hasn't had his pit stop yet. So, but he's certainly comfortable position to come into the pit to do his stop with a 12-second head start over second position.
Yeah, well, that's it. He's consistently doing 126, you know, mid 126s. The closest person that's doing the closest lap to that is Dylan Shepherd back in eighth position. He's doing 126.7s. So yeah, he's definitely going to be pulling out on these boys.
Yeah, this battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th between Matthew Kidd, Tyler Blackburn, and Bruce Smith is sort of starting to heat up quite a bit, so hopefully nothing comes unstuck between it, because it's been a great little battle so far.
That's another thing that's interesting to look at. When I was just looking at that Dylan Shepherd, Alexander Bird, Dylan Shepherd's already had his one mandatory pit stop, and it's around about the 30-second mark here for a quick pit stop. So that puts him, Dylan, 32.5 seconds behind Alexander at the moment. So if Alex goes and does his pit stop, it pretty much put Dylan in second position. Because 2nd through 7th haven't had their mandatory pit stop yet. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
That's going to spice things back up that front end again, because probably a little bit of bad blood between him and Dean up there as well. So if he comes out anywhere near that that sort of pointy end of the field, I can see that battle is going to continue on.
So you're predicting we're going to get a few more nudges up the back of cars into corners here?
I think knowing what these drivers are like is that they'll hold grudges and they'll know exactly who is who and who they're going to likely just give a light touch to.
Just looking at Dean Ross there, he's just trying to really push it through Jack Hughes there and coming out the back end of the track as he makes it around on the first corner. No dramas, but he was just getting held up there a little bit. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that.
We've spoken to Dean quite a few times in the commentary box here, and we know that when he puts that or when he sits behind the sim, he's a full hardcore racer, and he's one of the sort of guys that can let little things get to him from time to time. So I hope that doesn't frustrate him any more than what he probably already is behind the wheel.
Yeah, because that's it. Dean hasn't done his mandatory pit stop yet either, so he'll be trying to claw back as many seconds as he can. He'll be focusing on more lap times at the moment and trying to get that up there just for that pit stop time, and see if he can try and get back some more time on Alex, hoping the pit stop's a bit quicker. Even back in the pack, I'm just watching this David Miller and Oliver Fullerton battle between 24th and 25th. They're on the back of each other and being really respectful and driving with each other.
Yeah, I think, like you said before, everyone's sort of settled down now, got into their rhythm, don't want to bring the safety car back out again, so by the time they make their pass or try to initiate their pass, they're going to want to try to get it done cleanly and not cause any incidents. Back to what we were just talking about a minute ago between Dean Ross and Dylan Shepherd. I'm just looking at the time, and you are 100% spot on too, Steve, that they're going to come very close to each other back out there on track again. So it's going to be a very interesting one to watch. I mean, he's sitting 7th at the moment. He's the first person in that top 10 that has done their pit stop. So he's going to pop back out there or thereabouts. It's just a matter of who he's going to be with towards the end.
Yeah, it's something I'm watching. I've got it on the left screen, and I'm keep watching that time for when they pull into the pits there. So I'm going through. I was just watching Brendan Hawkins. Just put it in the wall a little bit there, but I'm actually going through the field here, who we haven't mentioned, and see who's having a few good little battles there. Brenton Hawkins was one of them, and he just touched the wall there, and just touched up Sal Galenti. But there is a few battle packs going through, even with the back markers becoming a little bit of an issue.
Dylan Shepherd just jumped up into 6th position now, so he's certainly pushing on. So it'd be interesting. He's done his last was a so I don't know what his last was, but his best is 126.569. Sorry, there we go. Previous lap was 128. So he's mid speed. He's not up with Alexander Bird or anything like that, but judging by his, like I said, with his pit stop already done, still going to put him up there close to where these front guys are going to come out after their pit stop.
Oh, see, that's another thing there. You know, when these guys, you know, made mistakes earlier on and they get that mandatory pit stop out of the way, you know, they can run with the comfort knowing that that's it until the end of the race. As I said before, I was just going through and looking at a few little battle packs that were going on. We've got Scotty McQueen coming P14. It'll catch on the back of Liam Eagle and Wayne Taylor. That's having a real respectable fight. These guys, I've been coming back and forward and watching these guys, but they're just clean driving, lap after lap, doing really well. And Scotty's actually closing in on the back of Liam.
Also just watching that gap up front between Alexander Bird and Dean Ross as well, and it really hasn't changed all that much as well, so it's sort of settled down a little bit.
And just another one, it looks like Trent Thomas is back in the pits again. That's Aaron Hindle in P7, what you were saying before. He's just got a little bit of traffic in front of him. He's got Todd Maxfield in 37th in front of him, and that's between him and Dylan Shepherd. So hopefully he can clear that pretty soon and move on the order, set his eyes on Dylan and go for a crack.
Guys would have to be getting close to that pit window coming on, sort of thing, up at the front, that have not done their mandatory pit stop yet. The safety car would have longer, gave them a little bit extra time, but they've got to be within probably the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'd say, they'll have to be coming in. So
just here and now, Matt Goodwin out of position 31 just spun it around, but yeah, just pulled off the track, reversed it back, and just waiting for his gap to get back on track. Good driving from him after a correction of an error. Just looking around this field, there's a lot of back markers, a lot of mixed cars on different laps. You know, as we were touching base before, 1:30 lap, 1 minute 30 lap time. Yeah, definitely. There's a fair few cars through the pack, and you can hear in the server chat that a few people are running out of patience there.
It's very hard to keep up with it all actually at the moment, because there is so many cars that are mixed up in the field. So you're seeing the battles go on, but it's a little bit frustrating for the drivers that are actually on the lead lap effectively. They're battling against guys that are a lap down and not allowing the pass to be made. So it will get frustrating for sure. Let's just hope no one gets a hot head and does something that they might regret.
Yeah, well, that's it. As I said before, look, I've got the track map up. I'm having a look. I'm looking at these small little battles and seeing who's there. there's a lot of respectful driving going on tonight. You know, Oliver Fullerton's back on the back of Michael Spithill. You know, I've just been watching that flicking back and forward. You know, clean driving. He's not making any dangerous moves or throwing it down the inside or anything like that. They're doing some good driving then, and they've come across some traffic and just went around it and continued on their way. But yeah, it's definitely it's going to be difficult for the drivers tonight with such a short track. You know, it's only 3.7 k's, in 14 corners at Bella Isle, and especially being a street circuit. So no, they've done really well so far to keep everything clean as they have. And just as I say that, there's Oliver Fullerton just pulling out of his battle there, and just let Steve Lattimore go through, because obviously Steve's in third, and yeah, he's in 25th. Great driving there.
Yeah, I actually had to have a second look there myself, because I actually thought a blue car stepped out of the road. I thought it was Steve Lattimore. Thinking, I don't understand why he'd be pulling over, but it wasn't Steve. It was the other car allowing the pass to be made. So.
Just looking at the timing here, and it looks like Andrew Walters down in 40th spot. That's pretty new to hear about. He's usually up the pointy end. He might have got caught up in some dramas at the start there. He did have a long pit time, so he must have got caught up in something.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I didn't even catch where Andrew actually started this race, unfortunately. So. I don't know if he done much in quali, because I know he had 24 hours of Spa as well this weekend, so I'm not sure if he just jumped on over to do this, because he wasn't in any of the practice sessions, I believe. So he probably hasn't had a great deal of running around here. So, but he's a good driver, but you still need practice effectively.
Yeah, I think that's the correct one there. Oh, Dean Ross just gives it. Getting that impatience bit with David Miller there, and taps him up the back and puts him into Rob Harris as well, but nothing off spinning. But yeah, back to the Andrew Miller. He came out of Andrew Walter, sorry, came out of 49. So obviously he just didn't qualify is good as he wanted, or that he could get around to, as you said, 24 hours of Spa. He's had a lot of his mind on that, and that's a massive race to focus on and stuff as well. So yeah, unlucky for him, and we're used to seeing him up the front there. So maybe next race we will.
It's really frustrating, this sort of situation as well, because we've got David Miller and Rob J. Harris that are battling 22nd and 23rd, and Dean Ross catches him in second position, so they're trying to yield and give room to him, but ultimately they're in their own battle as well. So it's one of those situations where you could understand that Dean might get a bit frustrated, but he's also got to have a look at it and sort of say, well, hang on, they are 22nd and 23rd, they are battling for position, for track position. So they've got to continue their battle, so trying to get through is very, very hard to do.
Yeah, and definitely, just when you were talking there, Rob pulls over, Dean goes through, David goes to benefit from that, and Rob comes back over and shuts that door a bit. But the respectful bit that I did see there, that David did back out of the move, thinking, oh, hang on, he did actually move over for Dean to go through and didn't want to take the position like that. So now we have only the top 4 cars. Yep. 1, 2, 3, and 4th haven't had their mandatory pit stop. Then you have Dylan Shepherd in 5th position. That's 35 seconds behind Alex. So it's definitely going to be a close call. Rough is the quickest pit stop's about 29 seconds at the moment. So, he's going to close that gap a bit. And we'll see where Dean Ross, Steve Lattimore, Tyler Blackburn, come out after their pit stops as well.
And in hindsight too, we've got to give credit to Dylan Shepherd too. He got caught up in that little tangle at the get-go sort of thing with Dean. Gave the position back, so done the right thing there. But then he also got tangled up with other cars back there as well after taking that pit stop, that fast repair pit stop effectively. So he's done well to claw his way back to stay out of trouble, to put him in a position where he is now. And effectively after the first round of pit stops for these guys in front, he's going to be there and thereabouts to go on for a podium position.
Well, that's 3 and 4 being raced on Auscars, so it's definitely going to, when all the pit stops are over and the time is definitely dwindling down, it's going to be an awesome finish to the race.
We just had a call of safety car as well, so safety car's being called, so we've there was 2 cars back as Dylan Shepherd just went around past it, and there was 2 cars facing the opposite direction, so I'm assuming that's what the safety car was called for. But this is going to be very interesting now, because the guys in front, depending on how far they can jump in, hopefully do their pits. Or it depends on if the pit window is actually open. Didn't think about that actually. It's usually under the safety car in the regulations of AMF, the pit window is closed.
Well, that's what we just got asked in the server chat. Is the pit window, is the pit closed or open? And race control just confirmed that the pit is open, so the boys, I would say, are coming in now.
Just looking at pit lane 2, Alex and Dean have both jumped into the pit lane, so maybe they jumped in before though, and there's a couple more cars that are into the pit lane as well, so actually the first 3 guys have now jumped into pit lane, so this is going to be interesting to see what the outcome of this is. Saying that, Dylan Shepherd has also jumped in as well.
Yeah, that's just watching that.
It's bizarre when he could have been looking on the relative and noticing the guys in front were pitting as well. He could have gained track position back on the guys that were in pit lane. So a little bit to unravel from this one, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm trying to listen to the race control as well. They're going to let all the lap traffic and they're going to sort out the order of the cars. So given the fact there's only 15.5 minutes left, it's definitely going to be an interesting, well, last, I would say, 12 minutes of a race.
Okay, so I've just had a call through from race control on, and now confirmed that everyone who has pitted when that safety car was called are all cleared of any breaching the rules.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I'm looking at the pit here. There's only like 4 cars that haven't pitted out of the whole field.
So saying that now, you think the guys will have to get in and get that stop done while the safety car's out and get the field re-sorted back out. Otherwise, it's going to be so costly for them to pit now with only 40 minutes of race left under a green condition.
Yeah, well, definitely the closest up front is Sam Dumstill, that's in 6th position. He hasn't pitted yet.
Sorry, neither has, by the looks of my screen, Matty Kidd in 7th hasn't either, I don't believe. Maybe it has. He's got a time against it, but I can't see a pit count on his window.
Yeah, that's true. He might have done a drive-through but we would have known about that.
Yeah, I haven't had a call from race control in relation to a PLP from. I've only had that one call, so yeah, I'm not quite sure because there is a pit lane time against it, but there's no pit count to his time, so that's a bit of a bizarre one on the technical side of things. I'd like to mention right now that them flames coming out of the back of the McLaren are a spectacular thing to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, it is. They've kind of just sat it on one car and left it there. It's like, come on, guys, mate. You know, obviously it can't be too hard to chuck them on every other car, because you imagine that at a night race in Spa or something with all the flames going through. That'd be awesome.
I actually find it quite daunting following the McLaren, because you get so fascinated with the flames that are coming out that you do happen to miss brake markers and apexes in the corner.
Yeah, that's it. Especially around Bella Isle. Maybe that's what Birdman's thought about here. Hang on, I'll just shoot the flames out the back and they'll just go into the wall. So that's race control got their hands full at the moment. You see this big train of cars, and so they're going green this time, and hopefully everything goes well. 11 minutes left or 12 minutes left, I kind of guessed there, but yeah, it's going to be definitely a shoot to the finish here.
Yeah, it's literally a full-on sprint now for the guys. I don't think anyone has done tyres up the front, so everyone's got the same amount of rubber, the same quality of rubber underneath them. So it's literally just going to be a 12-minute sprint to the end.
Yeah, well, that's it. Unfortunately for Sam Dunstall, he hasn't done his pit stop, but he was from 25th and sitting in 6th at the moment, so that would have been a fair jump for him. The next one down the order would be Simon Mezzamo. He hasn't done his pit stop either, but he's up 10 spots.
I'm still bamboozled about that Matthew Kidd pit lane time that's against him. That's utterly bizarre.
Yeah, we'll find out more from that and see what happens. Green flag's away. Everyone's got away good so far. Just watching the track map as well, just to see if any cars have any issues. And we're seeing the 977 car. Just as I say that. Oh, Brenton Hawkins as well. He's not the right way up. Especially with it's hard to with a field like this and the track this small. It is so hard to do the replays and take that time out of watching. So it's definitely we've got to be quick on our toes and again it's a full-on job here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look, for some reason the replays have never worked well on this for me, so I'm not even going to attempt it because we're going to burn up so much time with the live racing time. So we'll just stay with live because things up the front here are certainly going to heat up in that last we're now under 10 minutes of the race remaining.
Yeah, definitely will. There was a few little bits of drama there between Wayne Taylor and that. There's a few boys at the back of the field just touching each other under after the safety car was called there. So there might have been some confusion on people slowing down and not. Same as Ryan Jones at the moment. He's kind of dropping back a fair bit.
Sorry to cut in there, Steve, but we just had a very big...
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
My mistakes, it was Tyler Blackburn. And he just got turned again. I've just had a call. They'll be finishing this race under safety car, I believe. The safety car has gone back out again onto field.
Yeah, we've got Pat Gallo and Tyler Blackburn turned around there and a little bit of drama, and then a few boys are touching each other up, and it's just, yeah, unfortunate that, you know, these guys just couldn't keep it straight, but we knew it would be a tough race.
There's going to be a lot to sort out from race control after this race is completed, and I think there's going to be quite a few points penalties pending the outcome of all the investigations in this race.
Yeah, definitely. I think there will be. There has been a lot of chat in the server itself from drivers, being a little bit frustrated at other guys, but look, racing is racing. Everyone knows that, you know, if you just chill out for 2 seconds and have a breath and just think about what you're doing, you can make it a little bit easier on everyone. Some of the driving that we did see that we didn't cover on things like, you know, guys spinning out under safety car. How is that possible? You know, if you're doing the right thing and hitting people under safety car. Yeah, we do know that it bunches up, but that's on you trying to get a jump on someone. You know, I don't think I've ever hit anyone under safety car and given them a little bit room.
Yeah, I have to agree with you 100% there, Steve. There is absolutely no reason or no justifiable excuse why a car would hit another car under safety car period. So that's just you either not paying attention to what's in front or behind you, or not allowing enough room. So everyone can back it off just slightly, give 1, 2, 3 car lengths to the car in front. So if they do sort of brake check, you don't run up their butt or anything like that. So it wholly and solely comes to the person that's behind that wheel to make sure they've given that room and don't have that contact.
Yeah, that's it. Look, racing's racing, and the boys are all going off at each other and saying whatnot. But look,
this is one for the record books, mate. I believe we are now going to swap over safety cars because there's a mechanical issue with the safety car that's on field at the moment, so they're swapping over to the spare safety car to bring this race home.
Yeah, them Audi safety cars. I'm not too sure on them. We've had a few dramas with these yellow Audis, so yeah, maybe we need a few new ones, I think. Alright, so let's go through. Let's try and find the biggest jump here. We've got Sam Dunstall, 25 to 5th, obviously, but we'll see what happens with his pit stop. Obviously, he couldn't take it because they're under green, but or they're under safety car. He can take it technically, but we've got Scotty McQueen, 20th to 7th. Wayne Hewitt, 23rd to 10th. Let's look for try and keep it positive, but let's look for the biggest drop. Trent Thomas, 2nd to 40th.
Steve, sorry, I was just in chat with race control at this point in time, and just can confirm now that this race will be finishing under safety car. There's be too many damaged cars out on track and too many hot heads out there, so they've basically had enough. They've got so much, they've got pages of incidents to go through after this race, so they've pulled the pin and basically said that we're finishing it under safety car, so we're not going to have any more biff and barge sort of thing to get this home.
Yeah, I think this one is going to go down in the history books as these boys are going to get a stern warning after this one. You know, race control will obviously sort this out, and they'll have many hours of trying to sort this out. Yeah, unfortunately, that this is what it's come to.
Yeah, I think certainly the hottest room in the AMF Discord channel after this race is certainly going to be the stewards' waiting room. We've seen quite a few people in there before, but I guarantee you tonight is going to top that number that's ever been in there.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't be one room I'd want to be sitting in right now. So yeah, I can see there's a big list so far in the Discord of incidents. I feel sorry for them boys that have to take some time out and do stuff like that. So yeah, a bad one, but you know, racing is racing, but some people had a really good run tonight and some others not so much. So
just for anyone that's just tuned into the broadcast, that the last 2 minutes of this race is going to be run under safety car. There has been quite a few incidences that has caused quite a few issues with drivers throughout the field. So race control have taken it upon themselves to end the race now and finish it under safety car to avoid any more malice towards anyone or anything that people might regret at a later date effectively. So we're going to be finishing the last minute or so under yellow under safety car. So the positions on the screen at the moment will be the finishing positions.
There is a few questions though because of Sam Dunstall's pit stop, and there is a couple more later on down in the order that haven't had their pit stop either, and as the rules stated that it did have to have a mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, that's going to be one for the officials to sort out, because ultimately the guys that haven't pit stopped or haven't done their pit stop at the moment effectively can't do it under the safety car now, so there is no time remaining to do it, so that has been taken out of their hands as well. So I would be under the feeling that they'll let that one slide at this stage, but once again that's completely up to the organisers of the event to see how that all unfolds.
Yeah, they were just trying to ask then in the server chat there, you know, who hasn't pitted or can we pit now and stuff like that. So obviously that's going to be a hot topic after it. In some guys' defence, that they did have 12 minutes left to pit, and if that was their strategy to do it last thing, then they can have that argument. But look, racing's racing, and race controllers have said what happens, and this is what happens in real racing as well. Sometimes you don't like it, and sometimes you love it, but you know, it's one of these things that'll fall your way or not.
100%, Steve. You can never have 49 cars on the track. You can never have 49 happy drivers at the end of the race. Unfortunately, someone's going to lose up and lose out and not like the decisions. But ultimately, once again, the organisers, once they hand out their decisions, they are final. So you've just got to live with it and get on to the next race. Put this one out in the back of your mind and push on. Steve, if you've got your timing open, can you see how many cars we had retire from the field at all?
I'll have a look now. I'm thinking it was only 6. I did count it before. I was making a note of it.
That's okay, because we're having a bit of a wager in the stewards room before the race of how many cars we're not going to finish. I said it was going to be around about the 10, whereas Ryan stated probably anywhere up to 20 odd cars. So if we're under the 10, I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely 10. I think you've got this one in the bag, mate.
Yeah, you got to win something.
Yeah, that's it. So look, this is pretty much going to call it the race now. I think it's the final lap. You know, as we've touched base on, you know, it's one that's going to go down in the history books, and the Birdman's up the front flashing lights. He's stoked with it. So, you know, he did his pit stop and he's still back out on first. But it would have been a good run to see, you know, Dean Ross and Alex Bird and that have a race to the finish line. You know, but this is racing. You know, Dylan Shepherd was very aggressively driving all night. He did really well, and Aaron Invers had that kind of lucky draw that he got put in there, and he got put it close enough with that #1 pit stop that he had. So that brought him up the field a bit more.
It's ironic to see Dylan Shepherd back up there in that 3rd position where all the tussle and bustle went on in the early stages with Dean that brought him unstuck, or brought both of them unstuck effectively, but dropped Dylan right back in the field to make him back up into 3rd. That's a great effort, great recovery.
Yeah, he definitely was, you know, that it's ironic that it did end this way, you know, and he hasn't gave, you know, Dean a few taps up the back just to say, hey dude, I'm still here, just, you know. But no, he did a drive. I was checking in through the race. He was driving aggressively, but this is racing. You know, he didn't want to be there. He had more ability to be where he wanted to be, and it showed at the end. There's some definitely funny chat going on in the server at the moment.
Yeah, I bet there is, mate. And like I said, I think it's going to go long into the night as well. So there's going to be quite a few people that are going to have a real look at this race and see how it all unfolded.
Yeah, but the good thing is that these guys they're having a joke about. They're not making light of the decision from race control. I'll get that clear right now. They're seeing the funny side of it and having a chat and having a laugh with each other. So, you know, it's good to see that rather than people at the end of a race swearing at each other and saying blame, playing the blame game, you know. But no, it's a good bunch of drivers we got.
At the end of the day, look at it on a positive side of things. By finishing on a safety car means that the cars that are circulated on track at the moment are going to finish. So if it went green, there is a possibility that you may not have got the car home at the end of the checkered flag. So we'll take that as a positive. And but like I said, when everything pans out, we'll see how it all ends out points-wise, and then everyone can move on and forget about this round and move on to the next one.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, we've seen it in V8 supercars many years. You know, famous races getting called because of incidents in rain and weather and stuff like that. You know, Ingle back in the day, you know, thought he won a race but didn't, and Dick Johnson got it and he was in the dirt, or Radicic got it and he was in the dirt. He spun out the half a lap before. So, you know, it does happen in racing, and yeah, it's poor to see this, but a lot of drivers did well tonight, and it was a positive race. Especially, I know the names of these drivers, and I did see a lot of them running the 24-hour and stuff like that. And that's only, you know, a couple of hours ago. The first one ended about 12 hours ago, and the next one's ended about an hour. So, you know, good to these guys that they all came out of their GT3 cars doing the 24-hour Spa and then jumping into this series, you know, and coming back because this is what they want to do every week.
And when you talk about it that way and you say that a lot of these guys that have just done the 24-hour Spa, I suppose you could not get two more different tracks between Spa and this track here. There's two totally different driving styles, and driving a 24-hour race, you sort of switched on your focus, you've got muscle memory that's worked for you for the hours and hours on end sort of thing. You jump into a track like this, and yeah, you sort of think, yeah, I can push a little bit harder, forget about the concrete walls there, and it's easy to come unstuck.
Yeah, well, that's it. If you know the tracks, you know, Spa has got, you get a lot of incidents from the off tracks and stuff because there is so much abuse of that in the 24-hour. But it's a really open track. I can say one corner probably that you're going to eat the wall if you get it wrong, and that's coming, you know, that left-handed back into the bus stop. But you don't have to. It's a nice open track where you jump into this one, you're claustrophobic. You really got to make that move and that steering wheel perfect.
That's exactly right, Steve. As if we see everyone file into pit lane, just the last couple of shunts here and there, just to say, yep, we finished the race. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely one to go down in the history. But the boys, everyone's having a laugh about it, and the server, and seeing everything from a positive light, and not being negative, and any negativity that way. So it's really good, and yeah, it was a good race at one point. But the start, again, we've had this conversation. These enduros, the start just doesn't work well. These guys really got to space it out, and take their time.
Yeah, I think it's the same old situation, mate. That they forgot that it's an 80-minute race, and you can't win it on that first corner or that first lap effectively. And we saw 3 safety cars straight after each other, sort of thing, from incidences where people just overcommitting into corners and making errors and causing big accidents. So it's the same old situation. You just got to be calm and just remember it is an 80-minute race. So
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to end it there, Bruce. And I thank you again for jumping in and in the comms box with me. I know it's really tough on you guys. You yourself, you got it your hands full, mate. And I really appreciate you jumping in and helping me out in the comms box.
no worries at all, Steve. It's great to actually jump back on and do it again. We've had a couple of weeks off, so it's good to get back into it and do it again. But yeah, look, once we get the third commentator on board, it should get a bit easier, and hopefully get the replays sorted out and get that working properly, and we can show everyone a good show and how we can make this all work. So, but thank you again for jumping in the commentary box, and yeah, we'll catch you all next week.
All right, mate. We'll sign it off with that. And thanks for tuning in. And as I said, we'll see you next week.
Good night, all.